Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is hopefully a short 5 minute or so screencast, just letting you know how to complete section 4.2 of the format. So for this lab report, osmosis, you're going to be doing section 1, section 3, and the entire section 4. 4.2 was left out of the first one. All right, so everyone's going to be writing the conclusion, justify, all right, your conclusion based on the data that you're going to be given. You're going to then evaluate the lab. How do you evaluate the lab, you might say? Okay, well, you're going to need to go to the lab report writing guide for that. And everyone who is not used to this should be going and consulting the writing guide. Let's go all the way down to the conclusion section. Gives you a lot of data here on how to do things. Use it. All right, so the conclude and evaluate. So you have your section on writing a conclusion, use it, and then section 2. All right, and an evaluation of the lab, boys and girls, is more than just talking about what lab errors were made. Because most of all, if you have a good method, you're not making lab errors. If you choose good equipment, you're not making lab errors. But all IB labs are required to be evaluated. All right, and they want more than just, I should have measured this or did this incorrectly. You would need to evaluate the procedure. And by evaluating the procedure, you're going to take a look there again with reference to lab processes, the lab techniques, the choice of equipment, the number of trials, and other possible that could come up in your lab or in a lab here. So by reading the lab, you can do processes and techniques, and by looking at the pictures, choices of equipment. All right? That can be gathered into a table, okay, with the lab weakness. So you say type of error, we just keep reading, and in IB, lab error comes in 3 types: random, design, and systemic, which should be stated in your paragraph for that lab, okay? Then you discuss its significance. So right now, what is the lab evaluation point you're making? What is the type of evaluation point? Random, design, or systemic? Okay. What is the significance? By significance, how that evaluative point could have adversely affected the outcome of your data with a specific reference to your data. And then in the same paragraph, how can you improve on that identified error evaluation? So for instance, let's go to a lab. All right, so you have two labs online that you can take a look at for the format. This is one of them. Please read through these things so you can see. So I'm not really up on the word error, but whatever. Doesn't take away from it. So in this lab, one possible error could be the number of trials was small. Number of trials per yeast carbohydrate. All right, so he's going to go on, or she, and talk about the number of trials, how that affected the data, and what that person can do in the end to overcome that, probably add more trials. So you'll notice in lab, boys and girls, for IB, you're required to do at least 4 evaluative points. 4 evaluative points. So whichever lab you choose, be it this one, all right, here are the 2 choices here. And you can see on the other side, we'll bring this one up. For this lab that you do, I'm only going to require you to do 3 choices, all right? And they should be separated by paragraph. So you'll notice 1 paragraph, 1 error, 2 paragraphs, 3. So this way we know, and within that paragraph, what's the evaluation error, either one. What is the type of error? What is the significance, meaning how did it affect the data? And what is a realistic solution to overcome that, all right? Again, you want to go back, you want to use this writing guide to help you there. Okay, 3 for this, and that's in addition to the, all right, the lab format. Okay, I'll ask you for questions on Monday.